Do you want an anime that keeps you guessing? You know, giving you those tiny drops of information that answers one question but opens up the door to many others, all whilst its storyline and plot keeps you on the very edge of your seat craving more? Well, Heavenly Delusion is exactly that anime, and it is easily one of the best of this insane anime season. This anime is just so good. The first episode of Heavenly Delusion was, in my opinion, outstanding. It followed a couple of likable characters on an unexpectedly enjoyable adventure across a post-apocalyptic Japan. The second episode then completely topped the first one because of the sick action scenes and that feeling, you know, that lingering impression that there is just so much more to everyone and everything than meets the eye, and of course the drop at the end of the episode with the confession, that was big. And then comes episode 3 swinging in like a true champion.
You think you know what's going on? You have absolutely no idea what's going on, son.
Just completely freaking blew me away. Honestly, that was just like, bro, well freaking played. You well and truly caught me off guard there. And let me tell you, honestly, my eyes have never been stuck to a screen so hard when they revealed what was actually going on there in that third episode. Bruh, man, like this anime is just so intriguing, so insanely fascinating, and it has really drawn me in. I feel like almost a feeling of frustration just having to wait for the next episode, which, of course, as you may have guessed, yes, I am an anime only for this one. So, for those of you who don't know about this anime, let me explain what's going on. However, I need to talk about what's happened recently as well, so I'll give you a warning to peace out as to not spoil you on that insaneness, but here's what's going on. So we have this proper, you know, the Promised Neverland setting going on here as we meet Tokyo and Mimihime. These two younglings have spent their entire lives on the grounds of their dreamlike school. You know, this place really has like a clean and peaceful vibe to it, and is of course home not just to Tokyo and Mimihime, but also a bunch of carefree, apparently kind of superpowered children. This school is staffed by robot instructors, and there are a few people there as well, but the important thing to take note about this school is that it is completely walled off from the outside world, hence the Promised Neverland reference. We also skipped a life beyond the wall where we follow Maru and Kiriko, like two teenagers exploring the rotting remains of a post-apocalyptic Japan. This, of course, is a night and day contrast in setting. So the majority of mankind has been wiped out by an unexplained catastrophe known as the Collapse. This has left the few survivors that remain to fend for themselves. The catastrophe also gave birth to these horrific and terrifying beasts known as man-eaters, who terrorized the wasteland, making things way worse than they already were. The roaming duo are searching for a location named Heaven, which we think is maybe possibly the school in the other storyline going on behind the wall, as the Earth they are inhabiting is often referred to as like a hell-like place, whereas the school has this, you know, we're in heaven type of vibe. The anime does a fantastic job of creating excitement on both sides by alternating between these two opposing viewpoints. It raises a lot of questions, such as what is the school actually like? You know, what actually happened to the outside world? Why certain individuals have these supernatural-esque abilities? And what in the love of frick are those monsters? Now, one of the anime's core strengths is that instead of using like awkward and very long information dumps, Heavenly Delusion wisely chooses to seamlessly deliver tiny bits of information through visual cues or deductions that we have put together from like character interactions and such. And although not much information has been disclosed thus far, the anime provides just enough to keep your imagination running wild and leave you desperately wanting more. So alright then, time to talk about the events that have just happened in the latest episode, which is episode 3 at the time of this video's making. So tune out here if you haven't watched the show yet, as this, you know, this was such a big play from the show. So I'm sure you, just like me and so many others, still haven't gotten over the big shocker moment in Oshinoko that is, of course, airing this season, that's also just dropped very recently. So to get hit with another huge twist and plot in another show was like a double punch. It was too soon. I got like a real hard hit with the first one. Oshinoko almost knocked me out, but I think I'm okay. You know, I'm making it back to my feet. I'm all right. I'm cool. And then Heavenly Delusion swung at me with the other fist. It's episode 3 and I don't know, man. I think I'm okay. I think I'm still here, but if another show wants to drop a big twist this week, it will totally knock me out, if not delete me from existence. I don't think I can handle it. Anyway, so recall when Maru confessed at the end of episode 2 and Kiriko replied by saying, and I quote, being a boy in his head. I'm sure we all believed and came to the same conclusion that Kiriko had discomfort with their own physique and had always identified as a boy. I thought, sick, cool, yeah, brave move going down this route, but I like it and I respect it. Good for you, Heavenly Delusion, spreading awareness and all that. However, no. That was not the case, and unless you read the manga, I don't care. Like, you did not guess what was actually going on here. So, through a flashback, we see a young Kiriko and her brother Haruki. It turns out that Kiriko was a racer before the collapse, and while society tries to seem as though everything is normal, these races are pretty damn risky in a world that is now filled with these brutal and scary AF monsters. And yeah, in this one, things went wrong. They went horribly wrong. So in an attempt to lead a man-eater away from the race after seeing one, Haruki fails and is subsequently devoured by the beast. This we totally saw coming as well. Like, as soon as he made that decision, I was like, bro's gone, man. You ain't beating this, GG's. Like, nah. So, understandably, Kiriko desperately attempts to help and save her brother, but she's too late. And I've got to say, man, this anime deserves big praise for not avoiding the gore. Like, over half of her brother's body is gone, it's missing, and it made me feel things, man. What a visual that was, can I just say? It was just like so grim and horrifying. I'd say the scene was just so gut-wrenching and intense, but we are far from done, of course. This is where things really start to go crazy. So we hear a gunshot as Kiriko embraces her dying brother, and the next thing we know, Haruki's brain is transferred and lodged within Kiriko's head, which is how the Kiriko we know came to be. The realization that Haruki had not only survived, but has now been transplanted into his sister's body and that his sister is now dead is just so freaking wow. Like what? I was honestly, I was glued, literally glued to the screen in a daze. What is going on here? What's happening? What? This is in a good way, but well, not a good way, obviously, but as a twist and from a viewer watching, you get what I'm saying here, right? This just blew the door completely off the hinges in terms of what this story is about for me. Like, I feel the same story is there, of course, but this has added a whole brand new story into the mix, which just had me completely jaw-dropped. There is just so much intrigue and mystery into the big question of why? You know, like, I believe that the Doctor killed Kiriko and used the siblings as subjects for his bizarre and obviously very twisted experiments, which was contrary to my initial thought, which was that Kiriko had given up her own body for her brother to live, which in tale could, actually be the truth here, but we don't know until we find the Doctor. If we can find the Doctor, that is, and I just feel like there is so much more to this than we know, and it's just ready to slap us straight in the face. I'm just waiting for it. I'm uneased. It just makes those tiny details they've subtly added in there feel like, again, huge punches to the face. The example here is from episode 1, where Kiriko and Maru are confronted by the thugs, and they say something like, oh, what do we have here? A couple of young girls. And Maru says, yeah, hey, not me, I'm a boy. And Kiriko also raises, like, her hand, or his hand, and says, I am too, actually. Initially, I actually laughed here because I thought this was just like a sassy response, but when I saw episode 3, I was like, bro, damn. They got me right there. And that's amazing. Like, what other tiny details like this have I missed that will hit me later? Like, it definitely made me feel like I need to pay attention to each and every moment with more intent, that's for sure. But yeah, this show is just insane. Honestly, like, so much better than I thought it was going to be. I was looking forward to this show, but it wasn't my most anticipated. However, now I'm like, give me more, damn it, Such a clever series thus far. Like, I do find the storyline in the school is the weak part in the story so far, but I know it's all going to tie together in many more ways than we already know. And it's just been animated in such a great way as well. This is an anime that is, easy on the eye and nice to look at, but man, does it play with your emotions. Honestly, can't wait for more of this. And while you wait for the next video to drop, why not check out this video where I talk about quite possibly anime of not only this spring season, but potentially of the year in Oshinoke. But I'll see you guys soon. You take care of yourselves till then. All right. Peace.